Hello people, it is I, 3Godzilla 3, the Master of Sonic, here with a video about Stealth Elf from Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. Now before I continue, I just want to apologize for the slightly bad quality of the video, meaning I did record it with a camera. I don't have a DVR or any kind of that software. Sadly, money does not go on trees, so that's for another time. So, this is Stealth Elf. Stealth Elf is a life Skylander, which she uses her daggers and aerobatics to fight. According to the official Skylanders website, there is a little biography of each Skylander. I'm going to be telling you guys the biography for Stealth Elf. As a small child, Stealth Elf awoke one morning inside the hollow of an old tree with no memory of how she got there. She was taken in by an unusually stealthy, ninja-like forest creature in the deep forest. Under his tutelage, she has spent the majority of her life training in the art of stealth fighting. After completing her training, she became a Skylander and set out into the world to uncover the mystery behind her origins. If you ask me, this story is actually pretty, well, it leaves you on a cliffhanger, because of the fact that we never actually find out who this stealthy, ninja-like forest creature is. Anywhere in this game. This game's storyline doesn't have any background information on any of the Skylanders. It's just a basic storyline with you playing as the Skylanders themselves. Well, we never actually know about the Skylanders unless you actually check the website. Which is pretty sad, but I guess that's a nitpick. After purchasing, I should say, a Skylander, you get a little card, an info card on their stats. Stealth Elf's attack power is 60 out of 100. Her defense power, 30 out of 100. Her speed is 100 out of 100, which to me is kind of a lie, but I'll tell you later. And her luck is 70 out of 100. And if you guys have any idea what the luck stat means, please put it in the comments, because I seriously don't have any idea of what the luck stat means. When you first start off playing as Stealth Elf, you have two moves. The Blaze Slash, which is a simple combo of one slash followed by a spinning slash, and her stealthier Decoy, which allows you to create a decoy of yourself. And I'm not really sure what Stealth Elf does, but she extracts her soul from her body, and you can control that soul. And she leaves behind a decoy of that body. While walking around as the soul, when you press the attack button, you can do like a sneak attack on enemies, while the enemies are drawn to that decoy that you made. After getting out of that state, Stealth Elf creates this little scarecrow which enemies are drawn to. When you first start off as Stealth Elf, you do not get this scarecrow. You need to buy it as an upgrade. Stealth Elf's basic upgrades. The first upgrade you get as Stealth Elf is the Straw Pook Scarecrow, with the price of 500. It is a scarecrow that appears in place of your decoy and distracts enemies. When I first got this, I actually thought that the decoy would look like, the scarecrow would look like Stealth Elf herself, but no, it's actually just a bunch of yarn put together. Her next upgrade is the Dragon Fang Dagger. Yes, her daggers are actually dragon fangs. How about that? The price of this is 700, and it increases the damage that the daggers do to enemies. Next is the Sturdy Scarecrow. The price is 900. It allows scarecrows to last longer and take more damage to destroy. Personally, I think the scarecrows are pretty useless. I mean, the only time you'll actually be using the scarecrows is if you're surrounded by enemies. But I rarely use it. I usually stick to the daggers. Her last basic upgrade is the Arboreal Aerobatics, which costs 1200, and allows Stealth Elf to perform a quick acrobatic move, which is actually pretty darn good if you want to getting close on enemies. Like every other Skylander, you have two paths that you can choose for your Skylanders attacks. For Stealth Elf here, she has the path of the daggers, which you can increase your daggers abilities, or the path of the scarecrows to increase the scarecrows abilities. For the daggers abilities, which is called the path of Pook Blade Saint, I don't know what that means. First upgrade is the Elf Jitsu. Yes, Jitsu, not Jutsu. The price is 1700. It produces Poison Spores and Blade Flurry. I've never actually tried this out, so if any of you want to put in the comments what it does, that'd be great. Next is the Elven Sunblade, the price 2200, which increases the power of the blade, the daggers I should say, even more. And the final upgrade is the Shadow's Bane Blade Dance, which summons these blades around Stealth Elf to attack enemies with. And like I said, it's pretty useful if you're surrounded by enemies. The second path that you can choose with Stealth Elf is Forest Ninja, which upgrades the Scarecrow's abilities. The first upgrade is Scarecrow Trio. Try saying that 4 times fast. The price is 1700. And it summons 3 Scarecrows in place of your decoy instead of 1. The next upgrade is Scarecrow Booby Trap, which makes the Scarecrows explode after a short period of time. And the final upgrade is Scarecrow Spin Slicer, which costs 3000, and allows the Scarecrows to have axes on the Scarecrow's hands, which does extra damage to enemies. Again, if you guys were to actually get Stealth Elf, I would recommend going to the path of the Blade, because unless you're actually a very skillful Skylander player, the path of the Scarecrows won't actually be that much of a use. The blades, on the other hand, I find very epic and useful, and it's just overall the better path to choose. Aside from having these 2 paths, Stealth Elf here, it said on her info card that her speed is 100 out of 100. And to that, I say that is just crap, because once you start off as Stealth Elf, like for example, Spyro the Dragon, he has a charge feature which speeds up your progress a bit. And Gil Grunt also kind of has the same thing, where he has a water jetpack. Stealth Elf, she does not have any abilities that can speed her up. And the only thing that she's mainly fast at is her attacks. Her attacks are actually pretty darn fast to pull off, especially with the blade. Stealth Elf is more of a close combat Skylander, so if you're more of those people that don't like to get too close to your enemies, I recommend you stay away from Stealth Elf, because Stealth Elf is very close combat heavy. Unless you're one of those strategy Skylander players and you know how to use the Scarecrows well. But sadly I don't, so... Again, the blades, they're very useful. They're like one of the more powerful... Stealth Elf's one of the more powerful Skylanders to choose. Mainly because of those daggers. Once you get the Elven Sunblade, it'll do a heck of a lot of damage, especially for close combat. As a matter of fact, I think Stealth Elf is the best for close combat. If I'm not wrong, I think Igniter is almost as strong as she is. Then again, I've never had Igniter, so...
Skylanders of the air element are stronger in this zone.
In this game, there are actually some paths that cannot be open unless you have a live Skylander. Again, I'd seriously recommend a Stealth Elf to be your live Skylander if you're just getting one Skylander for each element. She's just a much better, well-rounded character than the other live Skylanders. Again, with the story, in this game, there's no background information at all about these Skylanders, so there's not really much to say about Stealth Elf, aside from the fact that She's very close combat heavy, and the scarecrows are slightly useful unless you actually know how to use them. That's pretty much it about Stealth Elf, to be honest, aside from the story. But again, the story, there's no background information in this game about the Skylanders at all. As you can see, that decoy, it's actually much stronger than the dagger's original combo of 1 slash and a spin. It actually does like twice the damage that the regular combo does. So far, out of seeing all the Skylanders, I prefer Stealth Elf to be my favorite. Mainly because she just looks incredibly boss. I mean, think about it. She has daggers. She has stealth-like movements. She's pretty much a ninja, if you think about it. And her backstory ends with a cliffhanger, if you ask me. So, if you guys ever think about getting a live Skylander, pick Stealth Elf, because she's by far the more well-rounded of the other live Skylanders. Plus, she's overall the more fun character to play as. As a matter of fact, the close combat can be a real challenge to some players. So, yeah. If you ever think about getting a new Skylander, get Stealth Elf. She's a very cool character to play as. So guys, that just about wraps it up for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. And, by the way, these Skylanders cost $10 each. So, I hope you enjoy her.